And now on deck with the Tom Sox, hosted by Ben Rekosh.
We begin 2025 on deck with the Tom Sox the same way that we started it. Ben Rekosh here hosting once again, sitting down with head coach of the Charlottesville Tom Sox, now the reigning VBL champions. That is, of course, Randy Tomlin here back for year two. Randy, really thankful for, first of all, for you taking time to sit with me today, but also for you to come back and join the organization once again and hopefully lead the Tom Sox to another championship.
Well, I'm glad to be here and glad to be able to do that. I look forward to it, and and hopefully we'll see how it goes through the summer. We'll certainly be trying. So.
Number one overall seed in the regular season last year. 26-13 was the final record. Here's this for you. You're only the second ever multi-season head coach in Tom Sox franchise history. Why was it a priority for you to come back after capturing the Jim Lineweaver Cup, which is right here?
Well, I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it's important for stability, and certainly it's something I love to do, and having the opportunity to come back was certainly great, and was excited to get the opportunity to come back. I think it's a great organization, and certainly it was a fun year, and learned a lot, and it's I love doing it, and it was really a no-brainer.
Last year, a 19-5 record here at home, including the playoffs. What part did the environment at Charlottesville High School, Tom Sox Nation, what part did that play in the team's success?
Well, it's always home. Home is always your place, your safe place, the place you know the best, and you feel comfortable there, and certainly the atmosphere here, playing the games, and with the fans and support, and it helps a great deal. And the guys really enjoyed it, and we were able to play well in front of them.
So last year we went through all steps of your journey, from high school to college to minor leagues to major leagues to coaching when you first started at Liberty, and then to the Washington Nationals, and then to LCA. So this year we're going to do something a little bit different. For anyone that doesn't know or that doesn't remember, I recommend you go listen back to that episode from last year. It was a good one, a lot of information. Virginia native, played at Liberty University from 1986 to 1988, drafted in the 18th round by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1988, called up in August of 1990, part of the Pirates pitching staff, dominant pitching staff for 5 years, and then switched to coaching immediately after. So we're going to go through sort of each of those things and how they affected how you approach coaching nowadays. So just some quick rapid-fire questions connecting your playing to your coaching.
Okay.
So your college experience in the 80s, different than the college experience of a lot of the guys here, right? So talk about some of the pros and cons of the changing landscape of college athletics, whether it be NIL, the portal, you name it. What do you think about all of that?
Well, they're a huge part of everything there is right now, and that the value that's placed on players is certainly accentuated from the NIL and and the increase in scholarships. I mean, you're trying to do everything you can to make yourself more valuable, make yourself more presentable, and that goes along with all the analytics now, and the technology and training and strength training and just mechanical training and all the things that are available to kids now, which weren't back in in my day in coaching in college and there and playing. They're afforded a lot more at their fingertips to get better, to visually get better. Back then, you had the old VCR videotape kind of thing. If you wanted to, if you could pull it out and find it and all that stuff. But now, I mean, every pitch, every swing, every play is recorded, and you can go back and look and evaluate and really have a chance to pick up on little nuances or things that you can adjust or make better.
How do you think life would have been different for you, or would it have been different for you if NIL and the transfer portal existed while you were playing at Liberty?
I think you still would have had some effect. I was happy to play. I come from a small, high school. Not much fanfare from going in because I wasn't big. I heard all the stories growing up. I wasn't big enough, wasn't fast enough, didn't throw hard enough, could not play with the big guys and all that stuff, which really was for me, internalized and motivated me more to kind of, I'm going to show you I can, kind of thing. But I think it probably, may have motivated some kids more. I think what the difference between then and now, I mean, on one side back then it was pure, I have a love for the game and desire. I'm gonna do it till I can't, and there were no other things. I mean, you tried out of high school to get an opportunity to get a scholarship or partial scholarship or to help. That was the only way I could go to school was by scholarship or some form of it, because my parents couldn't afford it. But nowadays there's more advanced or more available to help kids in that. So that would have certainly helped some, but I think it was more of back then. It was more of I've got to prove my ability every day and appreciate the money that I'm getting, and certainly kids do today, but they're getting a lot more.
Yeah. So how about this? Take me back to when you were 18, 19, 20 years old. If you were in some of the commercials or some of the sponsorship deals, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Madden, whatever it is, would you have a dream sponsorship or partnership when you were that age?
I'm different in that respect, because
Free McDonald's for a year, nothing like that?
Well, I mean, that would have been great. Actually, when I was with the Pirates, this was a couple of years later, I did do a commercial with Pizza Hut.
Okay. Did you get free pizza?
With Aretha Franklin, I got some free pizza. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was it, though. That was no extra part of that. But I think certainly everybody wants, will work for food. Kids at that age will certainly do that. And but it would have been enticing.
Yeah. So moving on, the minor leagues that you talked about, not glamorous, draft day, nerve-wracking, or as you said, surprising for some. How do you use those situations, whether it be the trials and tribulations of the minor leagues or the patience that's required on draft day, to kind of inform how you teach and coach now?
I think it boils down to belief. You really have no control on draft day. You're hoping that what you did on the field was good enough for somebody to like you and give you an opportunity. I was certainly that way. I didn't expect to get drafted. I mean, I was shocked when he called. At my house, we didn't have caller ID back then, so I was glad I answered. So it was, but very appreciative of that. So I just think that's something that kids just learn to grow up and deal with.
So you were also, as you talked about, a major part of the high-quality pitching staff with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 1990s, making it to 2 NLCSs. How does that big stage... Three. I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. How does that big stage that you played on inform you in your coaching, maybe even here in last year's playoffs or at LCA in those high-stakes situations?
Well, I think it's, to go along with both of those, it's the experience of again, believing in yourself and not having to, worry about so many things, and you're drawn from, playing the game, because that's what's going to draw the attention to you anyway, is how you're playing the game, and again, back what value you're going to have for someone that's there to see you, stuff, and whether you're a non-recruited kid or a highly recruited, my belief is always, when you step across the white line, you're the same. Mm-hmm. And everybody should have that equal opportunity when they do that. And then it's just straight competition between those, that you got to put the glamour aside of it and goes, okay, who's going to get the job done, who is doing it, and on both sides of that, try to be as consistent and improve constantly as you can.
And that applies all the way to the major leagues, the top of the top, down to high school level, right?
Yeah, it doesn't change. I mean, that was I told guys stories last year, and I certainly will as we get into the season and talk to guys there about when I first went to spring training, my first camp after getting drafted, coming from a small school and this kind of stuff, and 18th round, which was fine, but
Yeah.
walking in there, it was, I started looking around and seeing, okay, this guy's a number one, this is number two, and the thing for me was always, and I tell guys, I'm not going to get psyched out about that. What I will do is I'm going to try to see what's the difference between him and me, and I looked and go, okay, well, I'm capable enough to do that, and I'm going to compete with you, and it's getting them to believe that they can be better and understand that what it takes to be better when you get out there in that game.
Yep. Last one for you on this topic. Injuries suck, right? They unfortunately affected your career, but also helped you push into coaching just 9 years after getting drafted. How do your surgeries still help you and hurt you to this day, whether it be in coaching, in informing players how to deal with that sort of stuff, or what?
Well, it covers a lot of things. First, there's an understanding of how I feel. There's empathy for them but it's also there for encouragement to know that there is a road that can come back. But certainly part of that, with the advancements in medical and surgeries this day and age. I mean, guys are coming back stronger. And those that have to have something done, we talk about the rehab is as important, or certainly the surgery is getting it fixed, but after that the rehab is what's most important, is diving in to make yourself to get back and get stronger, and it's through that process that a lot of guys find that these are probably things that could have been doing before. Now all of a sudden they're really helping me to be better than I was.
How much of injuries is mental and how much is physical, and what do you tell some of the players about that?
There's two sides of that, the physical healing and the mental healing. The physical healing, I think, comes along more quickly because your body heals. There's no longer the actual pain or resistance of things to come. The mental part of it takes longer because your brain remembers the pain. It remembers the point in which it hurts or the movement in which it hurts, and you have to really trust your rehab, trust your programs, and then progressively trust yourself. For one, that it's done, it's fixed, okay, and then start to push through. You got to break through the mental barriers to allow yourself to have a chance to come back fully and beyond, to get through those that recollection of there and create new feelings, new habits.
Let's move on to coaching a little bit. You coached at Liberty University and with the Washington Nationals until 2011, then took the head coaching job at Liberty Christian Academy in 2011, which you are still currently at, obviously. What are some of the similarities and differences between coaching at high school level and at summer collegiate level, first of all?
I think it's based on your expectations. In high school level, younger kids level, it's easier coming from playing at a higher level or coaching at a higher level to assume that they know those things already. But you have to go ahead and come in there and kind of not over teach, but really hammer them away with fundamentals, really, really hard, to teach the game, to know the game. And then carrying up to these guys here is not that much different. They should know the game better, but it's also they need to understand more of the real advanced parts of competition. As they get older, as their talent has improved, their development's improved, and things, and they're out competing. Those that are successful at the higher levels or move on to higher levels really will start to boil down to who can adjust better. And that's where guys start to separate themselves, and you got to figure out. They have to figure out. And we can help them. Are going to try to help them, and as they spend their time here, to figure out kind of help who they are and what they need to do to improve, so that they can adjust and adjust faster to compete in the game and do those things that are necessary.
So you've, of course, won a championship with the Tom Sox and with Liberty Christian. Talk about the different aspects of that at both those levels, or at the end of the day, it boils down to getting one of these.
Well, yeah. So I learned this a long time ago. In development, you want guys to be better, to play better and stuff. But winning is part of development. As much as development is part of winning, and guys have to learn how to win as much as they have to learn how to play. Because that's the difference between a showcase guy and a guy that's just goes out there and on the field and he's a dirt baller.
Yep.
He's just
Yep.
a ball player.
Yep.
Kind of seeing the instincts of things. It's the application of those instincts that show, and you have to teach guys the finer things, the little things that help teams win. One person is not going to carry a team in the sense for a lot of wins. You're going to have guys you rely on, certainly, both with the arms and at the plate and things. But you gotta work together and learn how to produce runs. Some days you're not going to hit, but you still got to score.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things. And some days you're going to go out and pitch and you're not going to have anything, but you still got to get outs.
Mm-hmm.
Those things. And you just got to figure out, and teach them, the routine and the consistency and the discipline it takes to understand that. And once they learn that they can be successful regardless of what's going on.
All right, before we talk about this year's roster, let's talk about Coach Coy. Coach Coy is loved by all the players, loved by the staff, loved by the fans. What does he bring to the organization on a daily basis?
I think if you spend just a couple of minutes with him, it's easy to see his love for the game, love for life. He just loves being out here, in spite of his own challenges. Coy loves life. He doesn't care. This is what he loves to do, and the energy he has every day. I think that's one of the things really that the players saw last year and we see there. Coy's the same every day. It's like wake up. It is baseball, and it is. He's running. He's doing everything because he just loves it, and I think he becomes infectious with that.
His favorite thing to do is go out to the mound and call for a pitching change.
He does. He loves it. He loves that. And you have to watch because he wants to run out there at any time and talk to the pitchers, and all that stuff. But that's just shows how much he wants to be involved and how much he wants to be a coach, to be out there. And I like we said before, I'm really appreciative for the Tom Sox allowing him to be here and be a part of this and making him a part of this, and certainly the guys last year bringing him in, and we get to talk to some of them throughout the year, and they were asking about Coy, and
That's awesome. Great. We're slated to have a number of returning players from last year's championship roster. How important is continuity experience for you?
Well, it's always important. Experience is where you draw from during the season, and guys that have been there, and that's going back to the question you asked before. So once the guys learn how to win, it's a experiential thing that they can help others to understand, and then it becomes more of you rally around, you play together, and there you got a lot to draw from. So in situations that get crazy, you're like, oh, it's okay. We got it. We just got to focus on what you
know how you run practice, know your coaching style, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Last season, 6 All-Stars, 6 All-VBL selections, VBL South Coach of the Year right here, 3 VBL South Player of the Weeks, second best season batting average in franchise history, best season on-base percentage in franchise history, 60 stolen bases, 287 walks, 356 strikeouts. What can we expect from the team this season? Which of those statistics stand out? Kind of take this wherever you want.
Yeah. Hopefully a repeat of all. Those are just a credit to the talent of the kids that were here. And they went out and pursued and bought into kind of the approach and stuff we'll talk about with this group that's here, kind of incorporate from where they came to kind of what we want to do here, and kind of get them to buy into the benefit of it, and that's all encompassing from pitching, defense, and hitting, and the style in which we can play based on their own talents, because there's another great gifted group of guys that are coming, and it's the biggest challenge to start off with is going to be the challenges of people coming in and out and all that stuff, but progressively is coming together as a group, and then finding your identity as a group. And last year's group, they really liked each other, they played for each other, and that's one thing I want these guys to understand too, is that you're here to play for a summer, but we don't want you to think like that. We want you to be here to play for something. Okay, you are playing for something, not just putting in time.
Before we wrap, I want to touch on your coaching staff this year. Jim Darren, Joey Davis, Chris Glaze. What role do each of these men play, and what is your connection like with each of them?
It's going to be great. Coach Darren is going to be a very important part of keeping guys physically and mentally, as well as his baseball knowledge. We'll draw from that. He's going to kind of handle those particulars to keep guys right, and to try to keep them on the field, as well as give some good input on their physical development, and that. And, Coach Davis brings a great deal of experience himself, coming, as a scout coming in. He has a great eye for talent, for skills, for the game, and his wealth of knowledge in there. And we'll work together with position players and offense, and kind of get a good idea, with lineups and things like that, and as well as, what's it going to take for this guy to get better. He certainly knows what it takes for these guys to play at a higher level and beyond, the look and the needs for that. And Coach Glaze coming in with his knowledge too is going to work with pitchers, and he's done that before, and we're going to work together with getting guys with a plan, and getting them to understand what is their own individual developmental plan to get better, as well as let's teach you how to or help you I should say, be a better competitor and better when you're out on that mound, because strikeouts are one thing.
Right.
Having great stuff is one thing. High velo is one thing, but getting strike one is another. And pitching with it is another. And using those things. That's what I hope we can help them with.
Last year, you defined your core values as both a player and a coach: preparation, hard work, love for the game, success, doing it all to win. Is it safe to assume that all those things still hold close to you?
Sure. Yeah, they are. They're the core values, and and that's what I believe in them, and and hopefully can convey that to the guys and let them see that our staff is going to come committed every day to them, to the organization, and for every game to go out and help these guys be the best they can be, and go out and try to win the game.
We won this thing last year, Game 3, Percival. What do you remember from that night?
I remember the will. That team did not give in or give up. They fought a lot, and they were just steady, right at guys. Even though they got down early, it was not a panic. It was trust. I talked to them a lot, in those things about between trying and trusting. And it's in the sense between running and resting, meaning don't get out in all big panics and stuff. Rest in the fact of knowing who you are, knowing your teammates and all this stuff, and don't wonder wonder if we're going to do this or anything. No, you have to believe.
Yep.
You have to believe it. And those guys just really did a good job of believing that they could do it, and they just were relentless and coming after it, and it was big play, big hit, big pitch after another. So
when Daniel Powell threw strike 3 in the 9th inning, and everybody's gloves went up, and you realized what happened, celebration afterwards, what were your thoughts that night?
I was very appreciative, very, very thankful. I know we talked with the guys a lot about the having faith and believing, just playing free, it was just really, really fulfilling to see what they were able to accomplish to do, and very proud of them, and certainly excited for them, and it was just really awesome experience.
So this year, 2025, will be the 10th season of Tom Sox baseball. We've won 4 of these things as an organization. What would it mean to you, and what would it take to win number 5?
I think it would mean a lot to the organization to win. You want to. What will it take? It's going to take a lot of work from those guys to play each and every game, specifically one pitch and one swing and one play at a time, and again with the idea of improving each time and playing together. It's a grind. It's going to be more on them than they're ready for. They're ready for it, but they're not used to playing 6 days a week, not being out, as far as a game, and it's some of them are going to see what it takes about getting in a routine and preparing every day. But I expect us to at least play and have a chance there at the end to be able to do it again.
Last one, I'll leave the floor to you. Your message to anyone in Tom Sox Nation that's listening, watching, will be attending games this year, supporting from afar. What do you have to say to all the Tom Sox fans, players, family support, etc.?
I would generally encourage and ask to come out and watch them. We're going to try to put the best product out on the game, out on the field every day. The guys are going to play hard. That's one thing we'll hold them to, and we're going to play right, and hopefully see good baseball every time they come, and hopefully way more than not have a win behind it. So
awesome. Well, Coach Randy Tomlin, really appreciate you taking some time with me today. Really excited for this season. Hoping for some better weather than we have today when it starts. But excited for this group, excited for the coaching staff, and excited to hopefully win another one of these things.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.